Now, I'm no betting man, but if I was, I could probably safely bet money that over 75% of you guys watching most likely pick Samurai on your first playthrough. Not because of its very balanced stats or cool armor, but because it started with the Uchigatana. Katanas have long since had a reputation of being the weapon class everyone likes to use, and for good reason. They attack fast, scale really well with dexterity, and almost all of them have some kind of innate status effect, whether it be frost, bleed, or poison. They also make you feel like the main character in your very own anime, and that can't be rivaled. Elden Ring has 10 unique katanas scattered throughout the game, so I set out to beat all 26 major bosses only using these katanas in an attempt to find the best of them all. As a child, and even now as an adult, One Piece has always been one of my favorite animes and Zoro my favorite character. I'm just kidding, I have never seen an episode in my life. That of course did not stop the LARP, and taking a page out of One Piece's biggest fan and appreciator of Japanese culture, Logan Paul, I created a one-to-one depiction of Zoro and began the game as a samurai. Once making it to Limgrave, I spoke with Melina, who gave me a magic ghost donkey that would accompany me throughout this journey. While I typically spend the next hour or so running around and gathering items, I instead decided to immediately head into Stormvale and run Margit's Fade. I'm sure it's common knowledge by now, but the katana comes with the Ash of War unsheathed that acts similarly to a charged R2 when it comes to both damage and poise. Against a boss like Margit, if you pair a couple of R1s with 1 or 2 unsheaths, you are almost guaranteed a stagger. Pairing this with the 2 bleed procs I got in the fight, Margit's health bar was melting at an alarming rate. While I could have gone around and upgraded my weapon first or leveled up my character, thus making this fight even quicker, it is still surprising just how much damage the katana can produce this early in the game. It might be too early to tell, but katanas may just be a bit strong. This fight did a good job of exciting me for what other crazy builds I could cook up and how much damage I could get out of this class. With Margit dead and Stormvale open, now is the time to actually begin setting up. Heading south towards the church for the physic and some gamer juice, I also stopped to grab the charged attack tier and talisman in one of the Dectus halves. Heading into the Weeping Peninsula, I went ahead and grabbed a few more shots of Marika's tears before returning to Stormhill. What do you guys think sacred tears actually taste like? It can't be good, but also I'd like to imagine it tasting like a strawberry peach tea. While here in Stormhill, I ruined a knight's entire day by driving my katana through his sternum for Golden Vow before heading into the Death Touch catacombs for the Uchigatana pickup that can be found here in the world. Equipped with not 1 but 2 katanas, I could feel the power of anime coursing through my veins, and thus it was time to pay Gunrik the old visit. Taking the main route to the castle, it wasn't long before I was at his door, where I seemed to have rudely interrupted something intimate happening between him and the dead dragon. Not gonna question it, to each their own. Clearly upset with the fact that I interrupted his alone time, Godric was more than ready to throw hands. I will say it is almost commonplace for most builds involving katanas to power stance 2 of them, and it might not be the most hot take, but this felt worse than just using 1. For me personally, I simply find the moveset to be rather counterintuitive and even a bit slow in certain cases where I would otherwise be able to attack more frequently. I could be wrong on this, but I do think having 2 weapons with bleed does increase the rate at which you can get bleed procs, as it felt like I was bleeding Godric with only a handful of hits. One thing that is for certain is the fact that having 2 katanas does make you look infinitely cooler than if you only had 1, even if it's not necessarily the best moveset. At the end of the day, how cool you look is far more important than damage or speed and literally anything else. Clearly, my coolness was the sole reason that Godric fell so easily, and not because katanas are most likely a top 5 weapon in the game. I guess I can probably just unsheath here. Yeah. Big bleed. Alright, nice. Oh, wow. I'm honestly surprised I didn't dodge early there. It felt like I did. Okay, well that one I jumped early. I did it again. Hold on. I messed up the jump twice. Oh my god. Thank you for giving me like the best move that you could have given me. Into an even better move. Oh, okay. I didn't have stam. It's fine. We got it. Light work, baby. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I like the katana moveset when it's power stanced. I feel like it's actually kind of... It's really slow, and it's kind of awkward. I don't know. Like, I feel like just regular R1s are just better. With Godric dead, I returned to the Church of Marika to take the warp into Arizona to finish up the rest of my setup. My first order of business was to assist an elderly knight's cabin crossing the road. Hate to break it to you, but the road was in fact not crossed. Staying in Dragonbarrow, I ran into Fort Feroth for the other Dectus half as well as Radagon's Ball before committing an unjust act of cruelty against the local dragon population. You may be wondering why, and to quote a true pioneer of capitalism,
money!
With my new fortune, I went ahead and leveled up some important stats like vigor and more importantly dexterity. My last few stops in Caelid had me grab the Somber 9 and 8 as well as the Grace outside Redmane for whenever I chose to fight Radahn. Heading into everyone's favorite land underwater Liurnia, I mostly came here so that I could use the Dectus lift in the Altus. I did also stop to grab some smithing 2s and the Academy key off of the dead body of someone who clearly chose to use magic over the superior power of the Katanas. On the way towards the Dectus lift, I did grab Hoarfrost Stomp off the invisible scarab so I could infuse frost on my weapons. Using the Dectus lift, I was able to get into Altus where I could grab a Grace to progress to Radahn Festival. And as I was already in Altus, I also grabbed the Smithing Bell-Bearing 2 for my Katanas to get to plus 12 before heading into the Lux Ruins to fight Gillica for the Ritual Sword Talisman. To be honest, I wouldn't really call this much of a fight as she died before she could attack me even once. Back in Liurnia once more, I headed into the Stillwater Cave where one of Malenia's soldiers had the unfortunate predicament of ending up in the room of your average Resident Evil fan. It's okay because I was able to quickly put her out of her. You know, I don't think that spear is supposed to be there. Despite 6 different diseases tainting my bloodstream, I was able to dispatch her and acquire the Winged Sword insignia, which would prove to be very good for this run. Returning once again to Caelid, I headed into the Gale Tunnel in search of a weapon so infamous it doesn't even need an introduction. Moonveil was the katana with which I beat my first ever playthrough of the game with, and to this day still holds the crown for being one of my favorite weapons. The path to getting Moonveil is not necessarily the most difficult, but it does require killing a magma worm in a room the size of a New York apartment. The biggest question I have is how did it end up here, and also why does it even drop Moonveil in the first place? Now, I'm no lore expert, but I assume that the reason this worm drops Moonveil in particular is because all magma worms were once human, and before he consumed one too many dragon hearts, he wielded Moonveil. At least that's my headcanon, but feel free to let me know your own lore ideas. The fight with magma worm was one to be desired, as half the time these things just run around and give little openings. Luckily, my weapon was already decently leveled, and Unsheathed was once again proving why it is such a strong Ash of War. Soon enough, the overgrown lizard was defeated, and with it, my baby was finally in my hands again. Back in Liurnia, I spoke with Iji where I upgraded it to plus 4, but I didn't have the stats to wield it, so it would be a bit before I could actually use it in a fight. As I was already going around picking up new weapons, I also ventured into the Calum Waypoint Ruins and into the set of Bonnie Blue's latest video in search of a katana I was rather unaware of, the Meteoric Oreblade. Unlike Moonveil, this was a katana I had never used and one I was excited to try out. Stalling as though I was scared to fight Radahn, I grabbed Flamegrammy's strength and activated Godric's Grey Rune before putting my demons to rest to face the general himself. For Radahn, I had a simple build of a frost-imbued katana paired with the Ritual and Winged Sword talismans as well as Flamegrammy's strength and Golden Vow to buff myself even further. Two-hand, oh, and we get the best move. Let's go. All right, nice. Can I get the stagger? Oh. I was really hoping we would get a stagger, because then I think I could have one-cycled him. But that's fine too. Oh. No, none of that. Alright, well, there we go. There's Radahn. So that's that. Following Radahn's swift deletion from existence, I returned to Iji to get my Meteoric Oreblade to plus 5 before heading into the School of Magic. Not much happened here, I basically just made my way through until reaching everyone's favorite furry friend, the Red Wolf, who contrary to popular belief was actually quite easy. Was I overleveled? Yes. Did I have an overpowered weapon? Also yes. Anyways, I did grab the Glintstone Wetblade as I did want to be able to add cold to any and all katanas I decided to use going forward, because if bleed wasn't enough, then frost and bleed would surely carry me throughout the game. As per usual, Renala's first phase was a relatively straightforward bout of hitting the children until she was able to be damaged. Given my stats, I easily one-cycled her, and soon after we were transported to what I still think is the coolest arena in the game. It's a shame this fight is still ass. Well, I gotta hit him with the cool ass charge R2. Boom! Get him again. Yeah. Oh, I missed. Yeah. Okay. I still don't like that move. Oh, here come the wolves. All right. Let me heal. All right, thank you. Oh, wait. This is tack right here. Kaboom. Okay, well, it wasn't that useful, but it was useful enough. Dude, what a cool charge R2. I think, is this the only katana that has that? Wait, does this thing do anything against you? Kind of. Not really. Yeah, not really. I guess it kind of canceled her out of... You're joking me. What? Stop. Brother, stop targeting the dragon, please. Okay, I hate this game. I hate this game. Why are we targeting the fucking giant, dude? Game, please. Look at the boss. Thank you. Oh my god, unbelievable. Ichimonji. Ow. The moon is kind of annoying. Can you please go away from me? Thank you. Alright, hold on. Gravitas. Alright, big dubs. Now it's just you and I. Gravitas? Nope. Okay. Oh, this is perfect. Alright. Gravitas. Yeah. Oh, wait. Does the follow-up not do damage? Doesn't look like it does. Alright, that skill does not seem very useful outside of, like, pack mobs, but cool ass R2. Look at that thing. Damn. You know, it really isn't fair to call that fight ass when it is I who is buns, but alas, we did manage to gain victory. Before venturing further into the game, I had a vision of a super Walmart placed right in the middle of the old ruins. To begin my project, I would have to begin removing the local tree population, but that only came at the cost of my own morality. That morality was a small price to pay for the secondary benefit of having 3 new crystal tiers, all which boosted the damage of magic, lightning, and holy by 20%. With 3 great runes in hand, I figured now would be a good time to gain access to the capital for later. Blocking my entrance was the horse girl, who proved to only be a minor inconvenience. Things did start out extremely well, and it wasn't long before I had reached phase 2, where things did take a bit of a detour. It was as though knowing the boss was nearly dead that I began getting hit by most attacks that are otherwise easily avoidable. Thankfully, the power of a frost-imbued katana is more than powerful enough, even in the hands of a mildly competent player such as myself, and it wasn't long before she fell and the capital was open. Despite having capital access, I did return to Liurnia to do Yura's quest, which led me to finding him dead at the Second Church of Marika, where I was able to pick up his Nagakiba. Rest in peace, homie, but I did really need that weapon. While here, I also watched on as Eleonora conveniently slipped off the edge, giving me the Purifying Crystal tier. She also gave me this terrible looking weapon, Eleonora's Pole Blade. It wasn't a katana, so I just discarded it, and to be honest, it didn't even seem that good in the first place. After completing that little side mission, I was still on the search for more katanas, the next one requiring Ranni's quest. Picking up the Lightning Slash Ash of War from a Scarab Beetle, I headed into Caria Manor and into a fight with the other horse girl, Ghost Loretta. This was why I grabbed Lightning Slash, and despite this being the Timu version of Dragon Scale Blade, the boss that was fought in water was, of course, quickly defeated by my shiny lightning stick. Speaking with Ranni and her goons to begin the quest, I also took this time to complete the Celavis quest. After being asked to deliver a mysterious potion to Nefeli Lu and immediately raising all my red flags, I then found his sex dungeon that further established that this guy was a weirdo. Despite this, he had something I wanted, so I continued to play along until I eventually delivered him the Amber Starlight that I picked up in Altus, in which he kindly gave me the magic scorpion charm. I still don't like this guy. With that out of the way, I ventured into the queso-sized hole left by Radon, where I had the displeasure of facing myself in a brutal fight to the death. How crazy would it be if mimic tiers actually existed in real life? Imagine not 1 but 2 Tuxies running around. I shudder at the thought of it. Running through the Night's Sacred Ground for the Black Wetblade and Fingerslayer Blade, I returned to Ranni, who kindly gave me the Carrion statue for later. With the other tower open, I made sure to grab some exquisite new clothes before taking the portal into the Ainsel River. Speaking with the Ranni Funko Pop, as one does, I was told to deal with the Baleful Shadow near the Lake of Rot. Of course, I've never had an issue with this fight ever and knew it would be easy. Oh wait, we're in water. I lied. This fight is easy. Clearly this footage is AI, I would never die to Blythe. With the key in our possession, I ventured deep into the lake of Gamer Girl foot juice that left me more disease-ridden than a crack house bathroom. Unfortunately, this was not a quick detour, as I would have to fight and kill the Dragonkin soldier inhabiting the lake for the Dragon Scale Blade. This fight sucked. I'm already pretty lackluster when it comes to fighting Dragonkin soldiers, but when you have to fight it in the Rot Lake, it really adds to the pain. I was able to get into his knee crack on each attempt, but I often would end up getting killed by a random swipe or hit that I didn't see coming. But eventually I was able to finally beat him, and with it get one of my favorite katanas in the game. As I was in Altus, I figured now would be a good time to start Millicent's quest, so while I was running around, I also made sure to defeat Commander O'Neill for the needle that I would have to give to Gowry. Deciding to actually return to complete her quest, I finally ventured into the capital so I could progress a bit further into the game. For piss free, I decided to use my cool new dragon katana paired with my second lightning katana, as Godfrey was weak to lightning. I basically just created a dual wield setup that used both Ashes of War to do increased damage. I put the sword away, so GG. Alright, screw it, whatever. We only got 1 buff. Doesn't matter. Ow. Okay, maybe it does matter. Okay, oh god, what a terrible start. Oh my god, that was horrible. Well, it turns out the build was kind of a mess. I quickly learned that the usual windows you gain whenever you jump one of Godfrey's attacks were too slow when using 2 katanas. This definitely threw a wrench in my plans, as many of Godfrey's moves are good to jump over. It wasn't too bad, but I was also taking a lot of unnecessary damage, and this fight was surprisingly close for comfort. It was fun to use a dragon scale blade, and I think things would have been far better had I only used the 1 katana, but alas, power stancing is still very cool. Having learned from this mistake, I decided to fight Morgott using only the dragon scale blade, as I felt like it would have just worked better than trying to make the power stance work. Morgott, I'm here to defile your sword, or your chamber. Okay, already off to a fantastic beginning. That's awkward. He sidestepped my move. Oh, nice. Run away! Oh. Oh, perfect. Thank you. What a great move. What a fantastic move to give me there, Morgott. Alright, well, that was surprisingly easy. Dare I say, but so far this has been... I mean, honestly, it's the coolest katana that I've used for sure. With the homeless squatter dealt with, Melina was quick to inform me that my rent in Lane Dell just went up by 2,000 runes. It's an evil world we live in. Figuring it would be best to just move out, I decided to travel north and into the mountaintops to live like a true nomad. When I was up there, I noticed this lone NPC wearing the exact same outfit as Yura. Thinking that it would look better on me, I killed him for his foams. The mountaintops also had 2 more smithing stone bell bearings, allowing me to get my weapons to plus 18 and plus 6 respectively. Instead of fighting the fire giant, I instead visited the Church of Repose to deal with Okina, as he dropped yet another katana, the infamous Rivers of Blood. How is he faster than me with 2 katanas, bro? My katanas don't do that shit. Like, how is he faster? How is that possible? Okay. Yep. No, that's fine. Yep. That's so cool, dude. Like, how is he so fast? Okay, man. That's just unlucky. Okay. With Rivers of Blood in my hands, I figured I would use it for the next couple bosses, so I went ahead and got it upgraded to plus 9 before visiting Renala so that I could respec. Figuring I would try to gain access to the snowfield for the Thorny Crack tier, I made my way into Castle Sol so that I could fight Commander Nile and his boyfriends. Alright, well that did not go as planned. I know what we need. More damage. Back in Caelid, I assisted in some more deforestation for the fire tier before buying out this merchant's entire stock of bewitching branches. Despite using those branches to completely remove the summons out of the fight and even using them to do a bit of damage, this fight was a complete and utter mess. At no point was I in control, and there were many times where I probably should have died. I also used up all of my flasks before I had even gotten Nile below 2/3 of his health, so it really was a matter of life and death. Eventually, by the grace of the Formless Mother, I was gifted the most well-timed bleed proc that ended Nile's existence right before he most likely would have ended mine. Grabbing both the Haligtree medallions, I took the secret path into the snowfield to fight yet another rotten tree. This one was especially important as it dropped a Thorny Crack tier which would boost my damage upon consecutive hits, which the katanas were all about. While I was here, I also figured now would be a good time to head towards Moog's palace. Instead of doing Vari's quest, I killed the invading noble that, when defeated, opened up a teleporter into the area. With access to Moog now unlocked, I had a bit of setup to do before actually fighting him though. First, I watched as this poor NPC conveniently slipped off the edge, giving me the white mask, and secondly, I ventured into the living quarters of the Hasbin Hotel fandom in search of Moog Shackle and, more importantly, the Lord of Blood's exaltation. Dealing with Esker was actually quite easy this time, as he got a taste of his own medicine for once and was quickly killed. Finally, I decided to finish up Millicent's quest I had started so long ago by lending her a hand. Or should I say arm. The same arm that would soon become my new talisman. With everything picked up and my build put together, a build that focused on multi-hits and bleeds, you know, the thing that makes katanas good, I was as ready as can be to fight the Lord of Blood himself. I don't think we need to use the shackle. I feel like we can just fight him normally. Then again, I mean, maybe we could use the shackle. Oh yeah, we are definitely not killing him before his phase transition. What am I talking about? We're doing, like, no damage. Okay, I lied. We're doing pretty decent amount of damage. Oh, I'm out of blue. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, big stagger. Okay. Oh, I felt one coming up. Ooh, and another bleed. Oh my goodness. Alright, bro's kind of getting sauced. That's gonna hit me, isn't it? Oh, wow. I'm shocked it didn't, I'm not gonna lie. Alright. Well, there we go. Alright, we did not kill him before his phase 2, but we killed him very quickly, regardless. So, I'll take it. With the DLC unlocked, I instead decided to clean up a couple more of the base game bosses I had left. Returning to the ancestral woods to light the braziers, I paid a visit to the dead deer who was conveniently weak to fire. As expected, my plus 10 Rivers of Blood did a fantastic job of doing damage, and paired with rather good RNG that kept the deer in melee range, I managed to defeat it as soon as it began to heal, thus keeping the fight pretty short. Yeah! No! Okay, we got it before it healed. Nice. Staying underground, I returned back to the Lake of Rot and took my favorite form of transportation into the darkness to face off against an alien that was shaped awfully like some Orbeez. For Estelle, I had decided to use a katana with the occult affinity as I already had a ton of arcane level. For those who don't know, occult is a fantastic affinity when paired with weapons such as katanas that have innate bleed that scales off of arcane. Unlike blood or poison, occult directly increases physical damage and does so extremely well. So when pairing a weapon that already has bleed on it with something that scales off of arcane, you get insane physical damage as well as crazy bleed buildup, resulting in some crazy numbers. Oh, that hit me. Damn. That's shocking, actually. Ooh. Okay, that's not... Oh, okay, well, I walked into that one. Oh, dodge that one, though. Oh, and... Oh, okay. Oh, there's the bleed. Cool. Well, that's Estelle. Also, yeah, occult scaling is disgusting. That was a stupid amount of damage. With the cosmic anal beads gone, I was now free to venture into the Moonlight Altar, where I achieved my lifelong goal of marrying a sentient doll while wearing her clothes. I love this game. Finally deciding to venture into the Land of Shadow, I touched Mikla's rotting corpse to be taken into the Gravesite Plains. As per usual, my journey began with picking up as many skippable fragments as I could find while also traversing and opening up the map. In my travels, I did venture into the Blueberry Ice Fields where I brutally murdered a demi-human queen as her little demi-humans watched on in horror. This wasn't because I was feeling particularly violent, but rather because she was the one that happened to have stolen Master Yoda's lightsaber. My journey came to an end upon reaching the back gate where I was able to reach Shadow level 9 and prepare to face my first true DLC boss, Commander Pigboy. Before doing that, however, I did return to Limgrave for Sacred Blade and killed Anastasia for the Sacred Scorpion Charm. If it wasn't already apparent, I would be leaning into a Holy Focus build to try and melt Gaius' health bar before he inevitably melted mine. I know, extremely original and never before seen. Okay. Oh yeah, Sacred Blade is most definitely necessary to doing, like, literally anything against this boss. It feels like, oh my goodness. Oh, don't hit me. Yeah. Okay, man. I love that move. It's so fun. What a fun and engaging move there. Alright, that's fine. We're back in this, alright? Just gotta get to full HP again. Keep our buff up. Why do I keep going for this kick? It's happened like 3 times now at this point. I would also like to be able to heal more, so I definitely think we were gonna want to get our last 2 Sacred Series later. I missed. Alright, another Sacred Blade there. I don't see us being able to really do many heavy attacks, I would think. Maybe right here. That's not bad. 1700 damage. Or 1300 damage, not 1700. I think I can go for a heavy after the kick, right? Oh, perfect. That is beautiful. Oh, and there's the bleed. Hell yeah. Oh, and then Sacred Blade to finish it off. He's still alive. Okay, there we go. Not bad. Not bad at all. Behind Gaius, I grabbed the 5 Skittle fragments he was saving for later and also took this time to pray to a statue of Marika so that I could gain access into the hinterlands. Here it comes. Yup. Oh no. Is that gonna kill me? Yep, I was of course here to blow some fingers, as any self-respecting man does. With one finger blown, I returned back to the Cerulean coast and into the second finger runes to blow the other one. You may be wondering why I'm deciding to do Metter so early on into the DLC, and that is because she actually blocks yet another katana that I can get after beating her. Before actually fighting her though, I did make a quick detour into Volcano Manor where I spoke with Tanith for the drawing room key, allowing me to grab the assassination request I would need to complete for later. Why am I doing this now and not later? I don't know, my brain operates in ways even I cannot comprehend. But alas, I finished the requests and received the Serpent Bone Blade from Tanith before returning back to what I was previously doing in the DLC. My goal for this run was to explore the katanas and see which one stood out to be the best, so I figured that there was only one true answer to Metter, and that was Rivers of Blood. Of course, Metter is extremely weak to bleed, and when using the katana that is built around, well, blood, things are bound to go rather well. Let it be known that there was a time where Rivers of Blood was even stronger, and to think what that would look like here sends shivers down my spine. I'm not really sure. Oh damn, that is a lot. Also, I couldn't dodge that? That's crazy. Oh, she's doing the walk. Okay. I'm alive somehow? That's scary. Oh no. Okay, this is already going horribly wrong. We've had to drink 3 flasks. And I'm assuming we're probably, yeah, there's the bleed. Okay. Oh my god, wait, I dodged it because of my Ash of War. That's kind of goated with the sauce, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, we're just gonna take this hit. And then drink a blue here, and then we should be able to do another one of these. Yeah, that was sauced. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then I think we can get another one of these in. Could be a bleed here if we are sauced with it. We are not sauced with it. Oh my god, I actually dodged that. That was kind of gnarly, I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised, actually, that I dodged it. One more bleed? No bleed. Alright, that's fine. One more hit. There we go. Boom. A little bit dicey at the end. I kind of got hit by 2 of her moves because I was expecting it to bleed, but we did end up getting like 2 of them, so pretty solid. Not too bad at all. That is just a certified Rivers of Blood moment. We weren't done in the cathedral just yet, as returning to the surface I ventured back in and was promptly jumped by Yolan, who, like most NPCs, does not know what to do when she's being painted with blood. We weren't here for her. Well, I mean, actually we were, but I needed to beat Ymir first, and anyways, Ymir posed quite literally 0 threat as I ruined his chances of reproduction and becoming a mother by forcefully removing him from existence. You know, as one does. With Ymir in a body bag and Yolan more depressed than I was, finding out that the local hottie 5 miles away from me was actually not real, I made things noticeably worse by removing her ability to see and eventually, breathe. Hey, but I did get a new katana though. Upgrading the Sword of Night to +9, I decided I would try it out against the Fire Giant. It goes without saying that the katana aptly named the Sword of Night would be a cool weapon, and yet every time I use it, I still find it to be the most badass thing ever. Maybe I'm just easily impressed or it's something about the skill, but either way, this thing always proves to be an absolute blast to use. Unfortunately, using it on Fire Giant deducts some of its aura points, as Fire Giant makes every weapon look boring because the fight itself is rather boring. As per usual, I mostly just followed him around as he ran around like a big baby, trying to stay underneath of him, swinging at his weakened foot as much as I could. This happened until I got a very well-timed stagger and was able to use my Ash of War to send him into his cutscene. In his second phase, it's more of the same, only this time he's rolling like a big baby due to his noticeable lack of foot. This unfortunately put him in the footsies tier of my definitive Elden Ring foot tier list. Sorry buddy, you might have been higher if you had both of them. Okay, I missed his head, like completely. Oh, he gone. Alright, come here. 1, 2. Get a couple more hits in. Honestly, the damage is looking crazy good though. Like, that is not too bad at all. Just a couple more hits and we should be dead. If we can get the right moves. Oh, okay. Literally one more hit. I'm gonna try and hit him. Oh, just barely, I think. That sucks. Oh, okay, perfect. For the finish. Yeah, it's tough. That is goated. That thing is so cool. Holy moly. With the Fire Giant dead, I did a little side quest in the consecrated snowfield, killing the 2 Knights Cavalry that guard the caravan for their armor set. After all, fashion is the real endgame. Looking absolutely stunning for my day with Melina, I must have said something wrong because while I thought things were going great, she went and burned herself. So like, no second date then? Waking up in New York after the Knicks won the finals, I made my way through the remains of Manhattan before entering the fight with everyone's favorite couple. Keeping the same build I had used on Fire Giant, only adding some sleep pots so that I could tuck them in nicely into bed for eternal slumber, this fight was rather simple. Once they were both put to sleep, use the the Ash of War a couple times and lay them to rest forever. Eventually the duo was defeated and the rest of Farum was open. Before progressing any further, I returned to Altus so that I could grab the Lightning Scorpion Charm from the Windham Catacombs, the Kindred of Rot's Exaltation from Seathwater Cave, the Fire Scorpion Charm from the fort, and finally talk with Alex at the volcano so that he could move to Farum. Returning to the crumbling city, I met up with Alex to complete his quest, giving me the Shard of Alexander, a very welcome talisman. Traversing the rest of Farum, I made it up to Malekith, who also happened to be rocking a badass sword with cool effects. As expected, I wasn't done using the Sword of Night just yet, and it felt appropriate to use it here against him. Alright, Malekith. This should be pretty chill, I would assume. Maybe not. Maybe it'll be a complete mess, and it's gonna suck, but... Damn, it's crazy how little damage we do in comparison to... like, DLC. I guess it's probably because the skill is where most of our damage is coming from, but as long as he keeps giving us good moves like that, I will take it. Thank you. Do it again. Yes. Might be able to go for a heavy here, too. I missed the second heavy. That is unfortunate. That is a certified Malekith moment right there. Alright. I mean, yeah, the damage is all in the skill, it feels like. I'm not getting that same vibe from just the regular R1s with this katana. Like, I mean, the katana is goated, but I can definitely see that it is not doing as much damage in its R1s. It still is doing pretty good though. Like, it's definitely not the worst, and what it lacks in damage, it makes up tenfold in aura, so it doesn't really matter. We both got our badass katanas. Well, he has a greatsword, but that's besides the point. His is cool in red. That caught me. That is shocking. I'm actually shocked by that. I swear I thought I was sprinting fast enough there. Oh. Okay, that one I just messed up. I didn't register what move he was doing. Alright, this should be a good move to punish here. I think we can do a tap. Yes, perfect. Oh, well, we did get hit by that. Do another one right here. Oh, no, we cannot. That was really fast. Do another one right here, though. Oh, damn, it killed him. All right, nice. Dude, this thing is so cool, bro. Oh my god, I actually cannot get over how cool this katana is. Returning yet again to the DLC, I made my way through the route base so that I could pick up the aptly named two-handed sword talisman, which does exactly what it says, as well as the two-headed turtle talisman for some better stamina recovery. I seem to have lost my sense of direction because I once again returned to Farum so that I could now fight the Lord of all Dragons. I'm not lying when I say that I was prepared for it to be a relatively easy fight with little to no hiccups. I'm sure most of you have been around long enough to know that was not the case. Despite using the Dragon Scale Blade, which does more damage against Placidusax because he is an ancient dragon. Hi, Editor Tux here. So turns out the Dragon Scale Blade does not actually do any more damage against Placidusax because he is not considered a dragon nor an ancient dragon. So I was completely wrong in that statement. This fight still felt like a slog, and to add insult to injury, I reached his final phase 2 different times just to die at the most inconvenient times. Alright, let's try this again. I'm dead. Surely, right? Surely this is fine? We're not gonna die here. We're gonna die here. I think I have time to do that. Every time. Every time he just keeps disappearing. Alright, here it comes. Can I do it properly this time? No, I can't. I fucked it up again. Oh, okay, no. Yeah, I did it. I don't think. Okay, we're fine. Goodness me. There we go. Okay, well, we're not... Hold on. Before we accidentally just die because we didn't heal, let's just heal. Let's just play it safe there. I don't want an incident. Right, one more hit. There we go. Boom. Alright. Yay, Placidusax. Alright, well, that was fun. I do still like Dragon Scale Blade. What a great weapon. As I was still using the Dragon Scale Blade, I figured I would actually return back to the DLC so that I could go and fight Rolana. Before actually fighting her though, I remembered that Castle Entis has Rolana's cameo, so I returned to the entrance and ran the normal way so that I would go and pick it up. It wouldn't come into use right now, but eventually Rolana's cameo would be a real MVP contender when it came to my talisman loadout. With that out of the way, I was ready to fight Rolana in her twin moons. For Rolana, I kept mostly the same build as what I use on Placidus Axe and pretty much every other boss I have fought so far. Obviously, Rolana was in water, so it was most apparent to use the Dragon Scale Blade, but I am sure I could have gotten away with almost any katana for this fight. At this point in the run, most of my stats were leveled, so it was just a matter of fighting the bosses as best as I could and avoiding dying as best as possible. Of course, that didn't stop me from making this fight needlessly close and nearly choking in the final hour. Kinda like the Spurs in Game 4. Too soon? Alright, one thing that is for sure though, is gonna be when we'll be able to actually use that skill. And I don't see it gonna be, I don't see us being able to use it much. Like right here we could use it for sure, but I don't have any blue. Probably also use it here. Maybe not. Oh shit, okay. Stagger. Drink a blue. Oh wow. Kill her before she does anything. That got really close. Oh my god, look at my health bar, dude. Oh my goodness. Having picked up Rolana's cameo, it was finally time to use Moonveil. Returning to Raya Lucaria to speak with Renala, Jesus, these names are confusing, I used a larval tear and she let me respec as though I didn't just kill her sister in cold blood. I guess she might not even know that Rolana is in the Land of Shadow to begin with, so it's better she doesn't know what happened. Anyways, with that sorted, I ran through Bellarat up until I reached the door of the Divine Furries. Throwing together a build that would maximize both the damage of Transient Moonlight as well as my magic damage, I was extremely excited to try this out. Hopefully whatever I cooked up wasn't gonna end up being shit from a butt. I got hopes for this. I think this will be really fun. I also think it's just gonna do a ton of damage. We do just need to get the right moves, and that's more what I'm worried about. We hold it here. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, that's pretty sauced. Dare I say it, that might be pretty good. Oh, I didn't have any blue. That sucks. Oh my goodness. This is gross. Oh, this is disgusting. Oh my god, I cannot believe that this did that much damage. Oh my goodness. Oh my lord. Dude, that was unbelievable. Sticking with the magic theme I had going, I made my way through the rest of the Shadow Keep until I reached Messmer's brooding chamber so that I could ruin his day. Turns out he didn't really like that and instead decided to ruin mine.
Lightless creature, embrace thine oblivion.
Messmer proved to be quite a challenge, and despite the Starline Sword being pretty fun to use, I couldn't quite get a full use out of the Ash of War. I do believe it is because this skill takes a very long time to complete, and Messmer does not give many openings that would otherwise make it worth using. I did enjoy using it, but if you were ever going to build for a magic katana build, Moonveil just far and away clears a majority of these katanas. Of course, dying over and over had me distracted, and I once again forgot about Hornsent. Sometimes I really prove to be my own worst enemy. Okay, there's the bleed, there's the bleed. You like that? What kind of charge attack is this though? Okay, it's just a normal katana charge attack. Oh. I like this move because this move at least allows me to get a pretty decent amount of hits in. I say that and we get two. Is this gonna hit me? No? Okay, we're good. I think I can get like 2 parts of the combo there. Oh, okay, we can actually almost get the whole thing. Well, it doesn't matter because we got hit. Oh my god, that was close. That would have been death. Okay, snuck in the little hit there. Nice. Alright, this should be a pretty decent... Yeah, this should be a pretty good punish window right here. Might be able to finish it. Ah, just barely. Look at that. That's so sad. We are out of blue, unfortunately. Alright, there we go. Finally. I forgot to get Mesmer. Or whatever his name is. No. Oh, I forgot to get Hornsen again. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, GG's. With not too many bosses left in the DLC, I figured I would just follow the main path through the Rao ruins until I eventually reached the Kush Church. For Romana, I decided to use the katana she tells you not to worry about, the Nagakiba. Despite its length being the main feature, the Ash of War piercing fang turned out to be my saving grace. Romana is rather strong against slash damage and has the highest resistance to it compared to the other damage types. On the other hand, she is weak to fire, so I wanted to use Bloodflame Blade as a sort of buff to hopefully offset the weakness of slash. I honestly don't know what I would have done had I not used Bloodflame Blade in this scenario, because even with it, this fight was quite difficult. Wait, we're already out of blue? Or already out of Bloodflame? Damn. We're just gonna run away from this. I'm done trying to dodge that. It just never works for me. I'm stuck in her again, dude. I'm gonna get rotted for this. Oh wow, she really hurt herself there. That's nice. Can I do a heavy attack? Yes, I can. I want to be able to... Okay, I think I can Bloodflame Blade here. I got hit for it, but it's fine. It didn't kill me. Or give me rot, which is the more important part, for sure. Oh, I missed. Wait, do I roll this way? Nope. Okay. Still don't roll that way. Lord have mercy. Alright, well, we got the stagger, and I couldn't get the riposte. They love that for me. I'm convinced Romina has, like, the worst riposte, like, area, or whatever you want to call it. It just never works. I swear. Out of all the bosses in this game, she is the most consistently missed riposte, I feel like. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just, like, her hitbox is really wonky, but really annoying. I'm assuming if I got, like, closer to her and crouched down, it would probably work, but... Alright, well, we are out of blue, which means no more Bloodflame Blade. Oh, but it don't matter. There we go. And we got the riposte to at least finish it off. Thankfully. Thankfully. Okay. That was, you know, it was a fight of all time. With Romina finally dead after an embarrassing showcase of skill issuing, I wanted to lighten the mood and go fight a boss that wouldn't pose as much of a threat. Grabbing Flaming Strike from Redmane Castle, I'm sure you can already figure out where I would be using this. Back in the Church District, I drained the sewer water and made my way down towards the Sunflower. I think this should be fine. I hope. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like I'm with the way that things have been going today, I feel like this Sunflower is going to absolutely ruin my day. As it usually does anyways. But we'll see. Okay, he's immediately doing the one move I can't punish. We love that. We are off to a great start. There we go. Thank you. So Flaming Strike. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh wait, I forgot. I have to like follow it up, right? How do I do that? Is it R2? Do I have to hit L2 again? What do I do? I've never used this thing, by the way. It does a lot of damage, but I have never used this skill. No, I'm not 100% sure how it works. The damage, honestly, is very good. You are right. I guess it is doing fire, so that it does check out. There we go. There's the fire weapon. That's what I was looking for. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, and the good move? Perfect. I don't think I need to go for a heavy attack there, but that's fine. It worked out. All right. Can we dodge the nuke? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Boom, look at that. Look at that damage. That was beautiful. Alright, well, there we go. GG's. Finally, an easy fight. Goodness. Making my way south into the second gaping hole of the run, I made my way through the Stone Coffin Fissure with almost no problem. Oh my god. Is this gonna kill me? It is, right? Yep. Oh my goodness, man. I just can't catch a break. Despite the Putrescent Knight's very high resistance to magic, I couldn't help but use the Sword of Night yet again. My build was effectively the same as what I had used before, just using whatever would buff my damage in Ash of War. Clearly, I should have just used a Holy Infused Katana because this was quite a mess. The Ash of War was putting in a decent bit of work, and despite the magic resistance, things were looking okay. Of course, it really didn't help that I was eating every single swing from his axe like it was a nice bowl of Wheaties. This, of course, resulted in me chugging flasks, and to be honest, this was one of the sloppiest fights I had ever done. That being said, it was still very fun to use the sword, and it wasn't long before that final hit connected and closed out this mess of a fight. I'm sure many of you guys are wondering how I would defeat Richard whenever I got around to it. Don't worry, I was wondering the same thing, and to be honest, didn't really have a plan. I figured that poison might be a decent bet, and with the serpent bone blade that was given to me by Tanith, it would be fitting to defeat Rykard with it. Obviously, we would have to stand in the lava so that we could actually hit him, so I returned to Round Table Hold and bought Niall's armor set so that I could have as much defense as possible. To save you the torture that I went through, I'll just go ahead and let you know that the serpent bone blade was in fact not good. I did also have the bright idea of trying Rivers of Blood, you know, the katana that does half fire damage, and of course that was also horrible. As of right now, it's looking like we're gonna have to return to Rykard at another time, hopefully with a better idea. Figuring I would just go ahead and get my final katana, I lit the 4 braziers in Ordina and entered the Halig tree. Making my way down the branches, I couldn't reach Alfil without killing Loretta first. Luckily, we have already done this fight before, and using the dragon scale blade proved to be quite effective. The lightning and frost was doing great, and soon enough the horseman was defeated and the rest of the place was open. As I was making my way down the route, I was thinking about what kind of build to use. While katanas like the dragon scale blade are extremely effective at killing Malenia, I had a better plan. One that involved arguably the greatest Malenia fighter of all time. On the way down, I did also grab the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman as I did want a bit more defense. Finally, outside Malenia's boss door, this build would obviously need no introduction. I'm sure everyone has already guessed, but of course I would be using the build of esteemed Elden Ring aficionado Kai Cenat. Obviously I was joking, as it was Let Me Solo who really made his mark as the naked Jarman fighting Malenia with power stance katanas. Thanks to his strength and power, I was able to defeat Malenia and with it get the final katana of the run. How do jumping builds work for this? I mean, they kinda work. I don't know though, they're not really my favorite. I feel like it's better to just do R1s or O1s. I will say though, I'm gonna keep it a stack. In comparison to just using one katana, dual katanas kind of sucks ass. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it at all. Like, it is not my favorite. That is for sure. I feel like there are so many better ways to fight her, and this is definitely not one of those. That is for sure. But if this is what the GOAT Kai Cenat does, I think we have to, you know what I mean? Like, it's important to us that we follow in his footsteps. Also, I kind of forgot I have a skill that I can use. I forgot about Corpse Piler. Oh, okay. Immediately into a waterfall. We love that. Am I gonna get hit by this? No. Okay, we're good. Actually, can I use this here? Oh, it's staggered. Okay, that was good. That was a big little cancel there. We like that. Ooh. Oh, that is like right next to me. It does micro stagger her a lot though, which is very nice, at least. Oh wait, she like actually dodged my second hit there. That was kind of sauce, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, okay, we're fine. All right, do one of these again. We can wait a little bit here. Wait for it to finish out. Use one of these. Oh wait, we got the damn. Okay, she's dead. Holy. Oh my god, dude. This is that Kai Cenat tech right there. Lord have mercy. Only a goat like him could do it. Because Waterfowl was a dance, that means it got boosted by the Dancer of Renaw's clothes, so that was my next goal. Back in the Cerulean Coast, I made it to the mausoleum and danced all over her until she was defeated and dropped her pretty dress. Feeling like a beautiful new man, there was yet another NPC that I wanted to dance with. My goal for Shidian was to get as much damage as possible so as to hopefully kill him before he healed, thus I wouldn't have anything to worry about. That of course did not go as planned, and I left him with literally a sliver of HP, giving him enough time to heal and making this a real fight. It honestly was way closer than it should have been, but finally, after enough Waterfowl dances, I was able to defeat him without too much of a problem. Had I died, things would have ended much differently, I fear. Keeping up with Malenia's katana, I thought it would be really fun to use against Godfrey as well, because I figured that his mid-fight transitions would actually be perfect opportunities to try and use Waterfowl at its fullest potential. Oh my god, look at that. Like, there's just so much aura to that, it's unbelievable. Okay, well, not when I get kicked in the face. Then it's a little bit less auriful. This is gonna hit me. Yeah. If I was too close. I was too close to him. I couldn't get up in time either. Okay. Now, he's probably gonna transition here, right? Oh, no. No, he's not. Okay. Right here? No. Okay. Right here? Nope. Maybe? Right here. Hello? Any transitioners? Okay. Well, not the phase transition. I meant the other transition. Whatever. Oh, and the stagger? Sheesh. Alright. Okay, let me not be too close to him. It's still too close to him. Okay, yeah, okay. That did not work as well as in first phase. And sadly, I transitioned him before I could even do it. Oh, that's sad. I could probably do it maybe right here. Oh, okay, that did like 0 damage. Maybe right here? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, can he stop knocking me off or knocking me on the ground? I would like to be able to kill him with my cool waterfowl dance. That would be very nice. All right, give me a good move that I can use. I don't really know what would be a good move. Probably this one. Right here. Yeah. Boom. Aura. With Radagon unlocked, it was time to clean up the rest of the stragglers in the base game and DLC. My first stop was back in Liurnia, where I made my way through the inverted Carrion study hall so that I could pick up the Curse Mark of Death to eventually fight Fortisax. After that, because I have 0 sense of direction when it comes to progressing through the game, I returned back to the DLC and took a long coffin ride off a short waterfall. Unlike the other open caskets littered around the area, I clearly suffered a much worse fate than them, having to fight Jory. No, I'm just kidding. Jory was actually quite straightforward, and I basically just adopted the typical backstab loop until he was low enough that one corpse piler from Rivers of Blood would finish him off. I soon arrived at the desolate mansion in the dark woods where I'm sure nothing bad ever happens. Oh, just ignore that. I decided to fight Midra with Moonveil as I had a fun time using it and honestly just wanted to use it again. Respecking once again so that I could do any semblance of damage, I am happy to say that the Midra fight, as they say in the Resident Evil community, was light work. Despite my namesake being Tuxie with 2 eyes, I couldn't just skip over a fight with the Lord of Madness himself. All in all, I definitely had my fair share of lucky moments throughout this entire encounter. For starters, Moonveil was absolutely chunking Midra's massive health bar as though I was cutting butter with a hot knife. The only caveat being the fact that I was trading a great deal of hits, resulting in some not so smart plays that most likely should have resulted in my death. The biggest reason was my over-reliance on Rolana's cameo and the boost in damage I got from the talisman. Due to this predicament, I was trying to find openings where I could hold the skill for as long as possible so I could get the buff. But if I wasn't fast enough, which in most cases I was not, it would result in taking a hit that had me drinking my flasks like it was a Tuesday night and I was looking to drive. Through all of this, however, Moonveil, being the beautiful and sleek katana that she is, was putting in work, and it felt so very good whenever those charged up attacks were connecting. Oh, okay. I did not mean to do an R1 there, but it worked out in my favor. Huh. That shouldn't have worked. Yeah, I mean, that is still an ass ton of damage. Like, my goodness. Oh, all right, there we go. Yeah, charged L2s with this weapon. Yeah, they're pretty good. They are pretty good. Against Midra though, I feel like he didn't have as many openings as I thought I would. Probably also just messing up where the openings actually were though. With one of the best weapons in my possession having the benefit of doing magic damage, I felt I was finally strong enough to take on the hardest boss of all time, the Valiant Gargoyles. Those who have been around for some time know how much I absolutely despise this boss, and I'm happy to say that after this run, my stance hasn't changed. Despite this boss being less fun than shoving a fork into an electrical outlet, I figured I would fight them, and because I came back to this place severely over-leveled, it felt extremely good beating them with 0 issue. I still wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. Taking my 3rd coffin ride up a waterfall this time, time because I'm not like other guys, I arrived in the Deeproot Depths and made my way up to Fia. Thankfully, her chumps were rather easy and straightforward as I basically just ran them around a circle and used Transient Moonlight to nearly kill all of them in just one cast. I may be over leveled, but this weapon is fair and balanced. Following that, I spoke with Fia until she got bored of me and decided she would rather just sleep. Putting on my best Freddy Krueger impression, I entered her dream and found out that she actually turned into a dragon. Watching this at work? Hell yeah. Why work when you could be watching me get shit on by Cordyceps? Okay, that does in fact still stagger me. Good to know. That's gonna hit me. Oh, no, it's not. I'm too clean. I'm too sauce with it. Why did I do that? I didn't mean to aim at his head. I took way too much damage for that. I'm taking more damage. I'm getting slimed out. Okay. You know, I didn't think about aiming this thing. Right, I probably should have thought about that. Because it's making this a little bit worse for wear. It's fine though. We're doing an ass ton of damage, so it's really no big deal. As long as he doesn't fly away, that would be beautiful. I missed that? How did I miss that? Hello? I'm convinced this game is cheating me. Where are we, dude? We are stuck all the way in the corner. Okay, that one, okay, that was a clear miss. I get that. That was on me. That was on me. Oh wait, can we actually hit his head here? Maybe we can. Oh, well, not here. Maybe we can, since this does do range. Oh, damn! Alright, well, it just killed him. Alright. Whenever I think about how Elden Ring was made with the assistance of George R.R. Martin, I remember that this game has a higher dragon population than the active Destiny 2 player base. I'm just kidding, that game is actually alive now. Continuing on my journey of actively lowering that population, I make my way up the Jagged Peak so that I can fight the best dragon of them all, Bale. Using the same build I used against Blasidisax, which was my first mistake, I couldn't tell if I was cursed or simply just bad. Don't answer that, I already know. Despite the fight going rather well for nearly its entire runtime, it's no surprise that I was somehow going to find a way to squander that, and of course it happened right at the end. And then it one-shot me. Okay. 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 I think we're just gonna have to keep going for... I mean, honestly... Okay, we can just buff here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to really hit him with it that much. I would rather get the buff immediately instead of having to wait. Oh, okay, I rolled into that. That's cool. How does that work? I don't know. But it just does. Drink of blue. Okay, this is a good move. Get a couple hits in there. We like that. I think I can get a heavy attack here as well, right? Yup. Like that as well. That move was a little bit off. That's the scream. I didn't realize because I was looking at his face. Ooh. I am curious how much poise damage these katanas do. I don't think it's that much. You're joking me, man. Oh my god. Like, why? Why? Just let me hit you, bro. We are down to like 4 flasks, though. That is definitely not as good. That's for sure. We also want to be able to reapply, which we're not really getting the time of day to do so. This is gonna be close. Nah, we're fine. There we go. Oh my god, it's so cool. It's so cool. It's the coolest thing of all time. I love it so much. That's gonna hit me. I wasn't able to run away fast enough. Can I just hit the boss, please? Aura! Am I on the floor? Oh, I was on the floor. Oh, that's what happened. I got hit by that. Well, that would explain why. I was very confused as to what was going on there, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, why am I not taking damage? Also, why am I not doing damage? We're out of flasks. Do I throw? Probably. Alright, surely. Oh, you're joking me. You're joking me. You can cancel that. I forgot. Just give me something I can punt. Thank you. Alright, heavy. You're joking. How is that missing? Just die. Lord have mercy. What a sloppy fight, man. Yet another bale that I got half HP with no flasks left. Besides the final two bosses, all I had left was the boss I was least looking forward to. Of course, I am talking about Richard, and I still really didn't have a plan. All I knew was that I was going to need some serious defense, so I did stop to pick up the Verdigris armor off of Moore, the Bolgo talisman in the Dragon Barrel Cave, and the Opaline Hardtear from the Putrid Avatar. In this time, I also respec'd into an arcane-based build with as much stamina and health that I could afford. Equipped with an occult katana and the double slash Ash of War, this was honestly the best I could come up with, so I was hoping that it would be enough. Turns out it was more than enough, and this fight was quite straightforward. With the armor and Bolgo talisman, I had 120 poise, which meant that the lava was quite literally not an issue. Besides the minor tick damage from standing in the lava, I wasn't getting staggered and could freely swing at his side until eventually the god-devouring serpent was dead. His second phase was a bit more involved due to the fact that he had nearly the double HP from the first phase. When a boss has over 50,000 health, it is obviously going to take a bit of time. On the bright side, the bleeds were plenty, and it was very nice seeing them melt his health bar because, to be honest, this fight would have been 100 times worse without the bleed. The biggest issue I faced was his constant repositioning that had me chasing him for most of the fight. I also ran into a range issue, as it seems that in his second phase the body becomes noticeably harder to hit, and thus I was whiffing a lot of attacks. Luckily, it wasn't long before Richard fell, and I am pleasantly surprised by the ease at which it happened. Burning the ceiling tree so that I could be teleported into Enir Elam, I would still have to run through and fight the NPCs before being able to challenge Radahn. Luckily, that was a pretty easy task, and given my armor and defense, it was hardly an issue. Even the fight with Leto was actually a complete cakewalk. As I had the same build, the occult katana was putting in serious work, and I would basically just call this a less cool Rivers of Blood, as it even had the same skill just without the range. It was made even better when Nathan decided to show up, and it wasn't long before they were all dead. For Radahn, I decided to power stance two katanas to give them another try, and that might have been a mistake. To be honest, it wasn't so much a mistake as it was my own skill issue. I would actually argue that two occult katanas is one of the best options you have when fighting against Radahn, as long as you don't get overly confident, resulting in your death. Oh, there's a bleed. Nice. He should be leaving soon. He's not leaving. He's not leaving. That's fucking bullshit. All right, he's gonna leave this time, right? Yeah, you freak. Go. All right, now let's run away and hope we don't die. I'm so scared. We're alive. I healed for no reason. Oh, don't die here. Don't die. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, we're not good. We're not good. We're not good. We're not good. We are so not good. We're good. We're not. We're okay. We're okay. I'm greeting. I greeted successfully. I greeted very successfully. Lord have mercy. That got scary. But there we go. There's Radahn. After having used all the different katanas, I honestly couldn't really decide what to use for Radagon and Elden Beast, so I just decided to use them all. With a different katana equipped in each weapon slot, my plan was to cycle through all 6 of them and use their skills as much as I could. This felt like the true finale to an already really fun run. It was as though I finally reached my true potential of being able to wield them all, and now I was going toe to toe with a god. Run behind him here as he's doing the fire. Boom. Oh, that's awkward. We are in the vicinity of the fire. Oh, look at that damage though. Ah, damn. We can do some double slashing here, some serpent boning. I do be boning the serpent. Wait, what? Pause. Dude, that okay, yeah, if we do like exclusively physical damage, it's actually really good. Where's Sword of Night? There it is. Pull out the Sword of Night. Wait, can we get a stagger here maybe? Nope, I was trying to cancel him. It did not work. We now have to run away from Elden Stars. Yippee. Alright, as long as he can just like kind of do nothing over there while I'm running away for my life, then we'll be fine. He's not letting me do nothing. Okay, well, that's... Oh, okay, they're done. That's nice. I need him to be a little bit closer to me. I would like to be able to hit the boss, please. Instead of just running away from you. Alright, no, that's fine. Okay, this is actually a pretty good move for this because he stays down for a while. No, come back. Oh, I hit him. Let's go. That was awful. Bro, why is 90% of this fight just running? Can we get... Does it kill him here? He moved again. Oh my god. Dude! Stand still for longer than like 3 seconds, man. Unbelievable. You're joking me. Alright, dude, just die, man. Just die, please. Like, another Elden Stars? You're joking me. There we go. Alright, I think we used every single katana in that fight. As expected, katanas are an extremely good weapon class and each bring their own strength to the table. I would have to say that my favorite katana is still Moonveil, but the Sword of Knight's aesthetic and the Dragon Scale Blade's design are some of my all-time favorites. This run was really fun and it makes me want to try out other weapon classes in the future, so if you enjoyed, please consider liking this video and subscribing so you don't miss out on future uploads. I would like to thank John Rogers for their continued support as a member, and with that, thank you all so much for watching and see you later.